Hello second years, welcome back to maths class. Today we will deal with the pole and polar of the circle. So first come to the definition of pole and what is meant by polar of the circle. So come here, definition is there. So how we will define the pole of a circle and polar of the circle. See, this is the circle. You take one point on the plane, not of center. So let S is equal to 0 be a circle, P be a point not of center. You take one point P on the plane and draw the line from P to the circle. It intersects the circle at 2 points S and T. Okay, so from those intersection points, you take the tangent to the circle. They will intersect at one point. Now take a line through that point. That line is called polar of that point P, and P is called the pole of the circle. Once again, one circle will be there, right? Let S be the circle. You take one point not of center. We can take any point not of center in the plane. From that point, you draw the line to the circle. Definitely, it will intersect the circle at 2 points, right? Those 2 points are S and T. So, at S, you draw one tangent to the circle. At T, you draw one tangent to the circle. They will intersect. These tangents will intersect, right, at one point. Now, through the point, you draw one line. That line is called polar of P, and this P is called the pole of the circle. Okay, so clear? Is it clear? One to the circle, from one point we will draw the line. That line intersects the circle at 2 points. At those 2 points, you take the tangents. They will intersect. Now, you take one line through that intersection point. That line is called polar of P, and that point is called pole of the circle. Okay, so now how we can take this line equation? Okay, so for that there is a formula, equation of the polar. Girls, again it is polar means nothing but it is a line. So what is the equation of that polar line of point P? Is S1 is equal to 0. I said S1 is a notation. So its formula is xx1 plus yy1 plus g into x plus x1 plus f into y plus y1 plus c is equal to 0. This is your equation for the polar. Suppose question is asked, find the polar of the point P with respect to the circle, you have to apply this formula. So this is the definition of pole and polar. Next, to come to the definition of conjugate points. What are the conjugate points? If Q lies on polar of point P, then P and Q are called conjugate points. So I said this is the polar of P. Here somewhere, suppose your Q lies, Q point lies on the polar of P, then P and Q are called conjugate points. New definition, conjugate points. When we can say any 2 points as conjugate means if one point lies on the polar of other point. If Q lies on polar of P, then P and Q are said to be conjugate points. So see, this is your polar of P. Here I have written, right? On this line, suppose Q lies, Q presents, right? Then P and Q are called conjugate points. Now what is the condition for two lines to be conjugate? Is S12 is equal to 0. What is the formula for S12? S12 formula is x1 x2 plus y1 y2 plus g into x plus x2 plus f into y1 plus y2 plus c is equal to 0. Again it is a notation, right? S1 is notation and S12 is also notation. Condition for 2 points to be conjugate, right? condition is S12 is equal to 0. That means suppose 2 points are given to you. If you substituted in this formula, if you got a 0 means those 2 points are conjugate points. Next come to conjugate lines. So if P and Q are conjugate points, then polar of P and Q are called conjugate lines. So when we can say any two lines, these, that means generally we will represent AX plus BY plus C is equal to 0, X term and Y term constant term. So instead of ABC we can have any values, right? So here these two lines to be conjugate, condition for two lines to be conjugate is, this is the formula. This is little bit lengthy formula, but if you practice it, some logic will be there. Your brain will catch that logic and you will get used to the formula also. Whenever you get new formula, try to write it. Already we are doing this from your first year. So conjugate lines means very simple. If P and Q are conjugate points, their polars are called, polar of P and polar of Q are called conjugate lines. And condition for any two lines to be conjugate is they have to satisfy this condition. If these two lines satisfy this formula, then those two lines are said to be conjugate lines. So once again the definition of pole, polar. So from a point, if we draw the line to the circle, it intersects the circle at 2 points. So through those 2 points you draw the tangent to the circle. This is from S point, this is from T point. They will intersect at one point, right? Now you take the line through that point of intersection. That line is called polar of P and that point P is called pole of the circle. So, and how we will write that polar equation? In mathematics we will express anything in terms of equation. So how we can write that polar equation? For that formula is S1 is equal to 0. What is S1? It is a notation. I think already you are well known about this. S1 is equal to 0. Next come to conjugate points. If one point lies on the polar of other point, then they are said to be conjugate points. See, this is your polar of P. On this suppose Q lies, then P and Q are said to be conjugate points. If you get any new terminology, you say it louder once so that your brain will get familiar. Conjugate point, like that you say one time. Next, conjugate lines. What is meant by conjugate lines? If P and Q are conjugate points, their polar equations are called conjugate lines. So very simple. And what is the condition for two lines to be conjugate? Means they have to satisfy this condition. So now we will do some problems based on all these three: polar equation, right? Next, condition for 2 points to be conjugate, and condition for 2 lines to be conjugate lines, conjugate points. Conjugate points condition is S1 is equal to 0. Conjugate lines formula is this one. So now we will do some problems based on this. So now come to the first question. Question is there on the board. Come on, read the question. Find the equation of polar of 2, 3 with respect to that line. So what is the given information to you? One point is given to you, 2, 3, one circle equation is given to you, right? So S is equal to 0 is given and P x1, y1 is given. We have to find equation of polar. So equation of polar formula is S1 is equal to 0, and this is the formula to get S1 is equal to 0. That means we need G value, F value, C value as well as x1, y1. So come on, what is the given information to us? Given that first, what is given information? P x1, y1 is equal to 2, 3 is given to you, and also circle equation is given to you. Circle equation is, what is that circle equation? X square plus y square plus 6x plus 8y minus 96 is equal to 0. To write polar equation, question is find the polar equation of polar. To write the polar equation, we need x1, y1, GFC values. So compare this with your general equation. 2g is equal to 6, 2f is equal to 8, c is equal to minus 96, g is equal to 3, f is equal to 4, c is equal to minus 96. Therefore, we have to get equation of polar, right? First write the formula. Polar of p x1 y1 with respect to the circle s is equal to 0 is, what is the formula? S1 is equal to 0. So what is S1? X1 plus y1 plus g into x plus x1 plus f into y plus y1 plus c is equal to 0. So you got all the values, just substitute. X into x1 is 2 plus y into y1 is 3, g is 3, 3 into x plus 2, f is 4, 4 into y plus 3, c is minus 96 is equal to 0. So 2x plus 3y plus 3x, 3 to the 6 plus 4y plus 12 minus 96 is equal to 0. Write x terms together 5x, y terms together 7y. Then 6 plus 12, how much? 6 plus 12, 18. 18 minus 96. Minus is higher value, so we will get minus 78 is equal to 0 is the equation of the polar. So very simple 2 marks question it is. So find the polar of the point with respect to the circle. Which formula? S1 is equal to 0. It is notation. So from the circle we got our GFC, and from the question we got our x1, y1. Just substitute in the notation and you will get your answer. This is the equation of the polar. Polar means I said it is a line. So see, at the end we got the line equation only, ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 form, where a, b, c are nothing but, what are those? A, b, c are nothing but the real numbers. I said so many times, isn't it? So general form of the line is always ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Wherever, not only in intermediate, in which class you go, that is the standard form, general form of line equation. Now come to the next question. Show that 4 comma minus 2 and 3 comma minus 6 are conjugate with respect to the circle. So now 2 points are given to us. Again it is 2 marks question. So 2 points are given to you and one circle equation is given to us, and we have to show that those 2 points are conjugate points. So what I said, the condition for conjugate is equal to S12 is equal to 0. If we get S12 value as 0, then we can say that those 2 points are conjugate points, and S12 is nothing but it is a notation. So come on, now we will solve the second one. What is the given information to you? So given that, what is that? First point is given x1, y1 is 4 comma minus 2, and x2, y2 is also given to us. It is 3 comma minus 6, 3 comma minus 6. Circle equation is given to us. What is the circle equation? Circle equation is, come on, x square plus y square minus 24 is equal to 0. Compare it with your general form. There is no x term, so 2g is equal to 0. There is no y term, 2f is equal to 0, and c is equal to minus 24. So g is equal to 0, f is equal to 0, c is equal to minus 24. 4. So, what is the condition? Condition is, what is the condition? S12 must be equals to 0. So, if we have to find S12. If that value is equal to 0, then we can say that those 2 points are conjugate. So, come on, you take your S12. What is the notation? X1, X2 plus Y1, Y2 plus G into X1 plus X2 plus F into Y1 plus Y2 plus C. We have to get this value is equal to 0. Then we can say that they are conjugate points. So, come on, we will substitute. You know all your points. 4x1 and x2 is 3 and y1 is minus 2 and y2 is minus 6 plus 0 into x1. What is that? 4 plus 3 plus f is 0, y1, y2 minus 2 minus 6 and c is minus 24 is equal to 4 3s are 12, minus into minus plus 12, 0 into something 0, 0 into anything 0, minus 24. So, is equal to 12 plus 12, 24 minus 24 is equal to 0. So, you got your S12 is equal to 0. Therefore, the points are conjugate points. So, remember, if we want to prove any 2 points to be conjugate, we have to prove S12 value must be equals to 0. Then we can say that those 2 points are conjugate to each other. Now, come to the third question. So, read the third question. What is the difference between the second question and third question? Observe carefully. In second question, show that the points are conjugate. But in a third question, if the points are conjugate, find the value of k. So, here we have to prove that those 2 points are conjugate. That means we have to get S12 value as a 0. But here already these 2 points are conjugate. Then find the value of k. So, it is given that those 2 points are conjugate. Already conjugate means we can take S12 is equal to 0. Here we have to prove, we have to get the value as a 0. But here already they are conjugate. So, we can take S12 is equal to 0 also in the condition. Then you will get your k point. So, come on, we will take the third one. It is 2 marks again. So, what is the given information to that? Given that the points, what are the points? X1, Y1 is equal to 4, k and X2, Y2. What is the point? 2, 3 are conjugate. They only mentioned, right? And the circle equation is, what is the circle equation? Circle equation is x square plus y square is equal to 17. Bring this side. Minus 17 is equal to 0. Compare it. 2g is equal to, there is no x term and there is no y term. So, 2f is equal to 0 and c is equal to minus 17. So, g is equal to 0 and f is equal to 0, c is equal to minus 17. And it is given that points are conjugate. Points are conjugate. So, if points are conjugate, what is the condition? S12 is equal to 0. Already they are conjugate. They are satisfying that condition. So, what is S12? X1, X2 plus Y1, Y2 plus G into X1 plus X2 plus F into Y1 plus Y2 plus C is equal to 0. Come on, substitute. X1 is 4, x2, what is x2? 2 plus y1 is k and y2, what is y2? 3 plus 0 into x1 plus x2, that is 4 plus 2 plus 0 into y1 plus y2, k plus 3 and c minus 17 is equal to 0. So 4 2s are 8 plus 3k, 0 into something, 0 plus 0 minus 17 is equal to 0. So come on, it is 3k and 8 minus 17 is minus 9 is equal to 0. So 3k is equal to 9 implies k is equal to 9 by 3 is equal to 3. That is the answer. So very simple. What is the difference between your second and third means? In a second we have to get S12 value as 0. Then those 2 points are conjugate. In the third question already they are conjugate. So we can take this condition directly, right? With that you will get your k value. Now come to the fourth question. See the fourth question, read the question, it is there on the board. So 2 line equations are given to you, right? We have to show that those 2 lines are conjugate lines. So now only we discussed what is the condition for 2 lines to be conjugate. This is the condition, right? If 2 lines satisfies this condition, right, then they are said to be conjugate lines. So come on, now your fourth question. So 2 line equations are given to you and circle equation is given to us, right? We have to prove that those 2 lines are conjugate. If we want to prove the conjugate lines, what are the requirements? Observe, we have to prove this condition means we need R value, we need G, F, C values, right? We need G, F, R value and L1, L2, N1, right? M1, M2, all the values. Okay, L1, M1, N1, L2, M2, N2 values, GF values and R values. So come on, what are the given line equations? So line equations are, we have to prove that they are conjugate lines. So first line is 2x minus 2y minus 1 is equal to 0, and the second line is 2x plus, no, first line is 2x plus 3y, sorry, 2x plus 3y, take the values correctly, plus 11 is equal to 0 is the first line, and the second line is 2x minus 2y, right, and minus 1 is equal to 0, right. With this you can compare L1x plus M1y plus N1. So L1 is equal to 2, M1 is equal to 3 and N1 is equal to 11. L2 is equal to 2, M2 is equal to minus 2 and N2 is equal to minus 1. Just comparing with those 2 lines. And circle equation, what is the circle equation given to you? Circle equation is, take the equation correctly, then only we will prove these lines are conjugate lines. X square plus y square plus 4x plus 6y. Copy the question from the textbook or from the board clearly. 4x plus 6y plus 12 is equal to 0. Come on, compare it. 2z is equal to 4, 2f is equal to 6 and c is equal to 12, g is equal to 2, f is equal to 3, c is equal to 12. And in our condition we need r value. So you find out your r. R is equal to, what is the formula? g square plus f square minus c. So, is equal to 2 square plus 3 square minus 12. So, is equal to root of 4 plus 9 minus 12 is equal to root 13 minus 12 root 1 is equal to 1. So, now we got all the required things. We have to prove that those two lines are conjugate lines. So, they have to satisfy this condition. So, condition. What is the condition? Write the condition now. Is r square L1 L2 plus M1 M2 is equal to L1G plus M1F minus N1 into L2G plus M2F minus N2. This is the condition. So, you consider this as left hand side value, this as right hand side value. First, you find out left hand side value. What is left hand side value? R square into L1 L2 plus M1 M2 is equal to R square 1 square L1 L2. So, this one 2 into 2 plus M1 M2 3 into minus 2. So, is equal to 1 square is 1, 4, 3 minus 2 minus 6, 1 into minus 2 is equal to minus 2. Your left hand side value, we got it as minus 2. Now, you get your right hand side value. What is right hand side value? L1G plus M1F minus N1 into L2G plus M2F minus N2 is equal to L1, it is 2 and G value is 2 plus M1, it is 3 and F, what is F? 3 minus N1, what is N1? It is 11 into L2 is 2 and G is 2 plus M2 is minus 2 into F is 3 minus N2, minus of minus plus 1. Come on, is equal to, it is 2 2s are 4, 3 3s are 9 minus 11 and here 2 2s are 4 minus 6 plus 1 is equal to, this is 13 minus 11 and this one 5 minus 6. So, 13 minus 11 is 2 and this is minus 1 is equal to minus 2. Okay. So, we got LHS is equal to RHS. Left hand side value is equal to right hand side value. We got left hand side is equal to right hand side. Therefore, the lines are conjugate lines. Conjugate lines. Okay. So, this is the answer. Okay. So, we proved all the 4 questions. Practice these problems and pole, polar, conjugate points, conjugate lines, and we proved the problems based on these points also. Okay. So, practice these problems. That's all for today. Have a nice day.